Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident Podcast. It is a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. On this episode, we are joined by Sambaza, host and creator of the Sambaza Podcast.
And I think about this old saying that I used to use when I used to play dominoes with some of my brothers, my partners. You know, they used to say, you know, when you took a long time to play a domino, they used to say, you know, study long, study wrong. So, you know, you don't want to overthink things when you're presented with something. So,
Okay.
you know, you want to think it through, but at the same time, we have a tendency to overthink. And with that, you know, that opportunity could potentially pass us by when, you know, we thought about it, but it could have been something that's just real simple. You know what I'm saying? And also with the procrastination, that was a big one for me personally for a while, because like we know what we want to do, right? And we have a tendency to put things off. We can be like, hey, I want to do this, you know, but I'm going to wait on it. You know, I'm going to wait till next week or that type of thing, or I'm going to wait a couple of months from now, whatever the case may be. But that's basically procrastination. And my thing is, you know, why wait when you can start it now?
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident Podcast, a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. And we are happy to have our favorite co-host, Sambaza, host and creator of the Sambaza Podcast. He is a two-time nominee for Best African Diasporan Podcast by the APVA, and he is from the Republic of Kenya in East Africa. He has been a presenter at the Afros and Audio Podcast Festival discussing Pan-Africanism, and he will be a 2024 ambassador with Afros and Audios again in this October. Welcome, Sambaza.
Oh, thank you, Jen. I'm glad to be here. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Thank you.
We have a really good podcast guest today. I don't know. I listened to his podcast and they were really invigorating.
Yeah, referring to our guests. Yes, we're definitely looking forward to our guests. We've been having some great topics about mental health and different aspects of mental health, from autism and counselor, and just some really great topics. We did a recap with you guys on some of the episodes that we've had. And today is like no other. We have a really great guest who will speak about some mental health topics with you guys. And yeah, Sambaza, any other thoughts before we introduce our guests?
I'm ready for today's show.
For sure. Definitely.
I'm out of words.
No, I understand. So yeah, we're excited for sure. So our next guest is a motivational speaker, a mindset coach, and the host and creator of the Growth Times Infinity podcast. And he also is known as Reggie B, the growth advocate. Please welcome, friends, Mr. Reggie Bisor. Welcome, Reggie.
What's happening? Good evening, y'all. What's up to my fellow amazing creators? How y'all doing?
Good.
Great. Yeah. Appreciate the invitation. It's an honor to be here with you all. So thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. We love connecting with content creators, as you mentioned. So anytime we can do that is a good time. And we also have expertise in some mindset topics. So we would love, we're excited to have you speak about that and share with us. We've actually kind of all ran in some of the same podcast content creator circles. So it's kind of nice to have some time and kind of pull up a chair, if you will, and, have that conversation and get into what interests you and what your podcast is about. So this is, something we're really looking forward to. Sambaza?
All right. So we'll start with the questions here. Welcome to the show. Can you share with us what mindset means to you, especially in the context of mental health?
So, yeah, for me personally, my personal definition of mindset is how much control you have over your mentality, your mental, your mind, or the lack of control. So I feel like with that, it's very important that we understand that we actually have control of our mindset. And I feel like that many of us, we forget about that. And
Mhm.
sometimes, we have thoughts running through our mind and we let our thoughts take over, that type of thing. But at some point, we just have to just get control of our mind, right? And I think that's key when it comes to mental health, because I feel like um, the more control you have over your mindset, it can potentially make you better as far as your mental health. So basically what I mean is, let me ask y'all this question. I got a question for the both of you. Have you ever woken up in the morning, right? And it can be as soon as you woke up, or if you're doing your morning routine, and you say to yourself, I'm not feeling it today. Or you might say, it's going to be a bad day, or I woke up on the wrong side of bed. And when you say that as you're going through your day, that's pretty much what it is. You're having a bad day throughout the whole time. Things are not working out for you. That type of thing. Has that happened to any of you?
Sambaza?
Yes, it has happened a number of times. Yep, I've had
Okay.
those days. Yes.
Okay. And on the flip side, same scenario. You wake up in the morning. It can be like right when you wake up. It can be doing your morning routine. You've had a good prayer. You had a good meditation, and you're saying to yourself, this is going to be the best day ever. I'm going to have an amazing day. And as you're going through your day, that's exactly what it is. It's like one of the best days you ever had, that type of thing. Has that happened to you as well?
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. I can, yeah,
Oh,
I can appreciate
okay.
that.
All right. And the point of it is, it's the power of our thoughts. It's the power of what we're telling ourselves. It's the power of what we're saying to ourselves. Because it first starts in the mind, right? Because I have sort of like a formula, like our thoughts will likely reflect what we say, and it would also reflect our perception on things.
Mhm.
And in turn, also what we say and how we perceive things, it will likely reflect our actions and how we move. And that's why I feel like it's really important for us to take control of our mind and our thoughts, because I feel like that's where it all starts.
I love that. That's awesome. And so, Reggie, share with us your background and how you became involved with mindset coaching and how you kind of get tapped into, being aware in this particular capacity.
So it all started when I was in network marketing for a number of years, right? So I've done numerous things in network marketing. I would say from like my mid to late 20s to like my early 30s, maybe mid 30s. I offered a number of products, a number of services. And I have to tell you, the whole time I was in network marketing, I didn't do very well. I didn't
Okay.
succeed. I didn't get the desired results I was seeking. Although I felt like I did as much as I could to succeed. I would go to all the trainings, I would go to conferences, I would go to events. I would do one-on-ones with my quote unquote upline. Um, I felt like I did as much as I could, but yet I just couldn't get over that hump. I couldn't, I felt like I didn't succeed. And I would question myself from time to time when I was doing network marketing, like, why am I not getting these desired results that I'm seeking? Why am I not succeeding like others? And I would question myself while I was in network marketing. And even after I got out of network marketing, I would always question myself from time to time. Why is it that I didn't succeed in that space? And I came across some information. I don't know exactly where I got it from, but basically, um, it was like an aha moment for me. So I pretty much answered my question as to why I didn't succeed. And it wasn't so much about the products and services that I provided, although I was kind of coached up and I was told, hey, these products and services, they sell themselves. So you don't have to do much of anything except just put it out there and people will buy in. But people
Mhm.
wasn't buying in, right? So um my answer, the answer was revealed to me as to why I didn't succeed. And it wasn't so much about the products and services, it was about me.
Okay.
It was like people wasn't so much investing in the product and services, although it might have been great. you know, but people in essence, they're investing in you. You know, they're investing in you. They're investing in who you are and not so much what you have to offer. And what I took away from that was it not only applies to network marketing, but it just applies to life in general. Like, why should
Mhm.
people invest in you? You know what I'm saying? And it's not necessarily financially, but also, you know, why should people invest their time in you? Why should people invest their energy and their resources in you? So once I got that answer, that's when I started working on my own personal development journey, basically to, you know, to create the best version of myself. And I always say that I'm a continue work in progress, but I just keep working on that. And along with going on this journey, I'm working on my mindset as well. And then, you know, of course, y'all know I came out with my podcast, I came out with my YouTube channel. So I created those platforms to help others work on their personal development journey, to work on their mindset. So yeah, that's pretty much my background, and that's pretty much the reason why I like to help people with their mindset. I like to coach them through. I like to be sort of like an accountability partner to them as well.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at the body of work that was put into these episodes, and you do have quite a number of episodes which I have listened to. But we're going to feature one, and this is um, the episode where you share a great story about the lone wolf. Share with your listeners or the people who are listening today and watching today about the lone wolf concept. And if you want to get it, it's episode number 178. Uh, So go ahead.
Okay, yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate it. So I love the lone wolf concept, and I actually came across it on a YouTube channel. I don't remember the channel, but I made reference to it in the show notes on the episode if you want to go check that out. But basically, when I was checking out the YouTube channel, it just truly spoke to me, and it outlined the 10 signs of a lone wolf. And like out of the 10 signs, all 10 signs describe me to a key. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to share that with my audience, you know, because I know there's probably some people who are listening to my podcast, my YouTube channel, tuning in. They may be lone wolves and really don't realize it. So I definitely wanted to share that with my audience, with my listeners. And, you know, I feel like there was some key signs, and I can share with you a few signs of a lone wolf.
Please do.
You know, one of the signs is that, you know, lone wolves, they like to stay under the radar, but yet they're always in control. And when I think about that, I know there's a person that I know, I'm not going to mention their name, but they was actually one of the guests on my podcast. I see them as a lone wolf, and this person has an amazing organization, and I'm actually a member of it. And I've watched how they move, you know, whether it was me attending one of their events, and I watched them move on social media. And what I have seen is that this particular person, although they're the founder of the organization, they don't really say much. Like, if you go to their events, people know that this person is the founder, but yet they don't say too much. Like, when they have like people who are hosting the events, or if they have like a master of ceremonies, she has that, right? She don't say so much. Now, they may call on her from time to time to say some words. Of course, you know, with her being a founder, she will do that. But other than that, you know, she's a lone wolf from my observation, and she runs an amazing organization. So that's one of the keys. That's one of the signs of a lone wolf, is that a person who wants to stay under the radar, but yet is always in control. And another thing that goes along with that is that, you know, lone wolves, they have a tendency to avoid the spotlight, and they don't seek any validation for what they do. Now, as a lone wolf, you know, we're confident that we are doing some amazing things, and we don't need the spotlight on us in regards to what we're doing. We don't need to, you know, video record ourselves and put it on social media. We don't need to go tell, you know, a bunch of people, 100 people what we're doing. We're doing what we're doing because we understand the concept of serving others. That's what
Hmm.
lone wolves do. So that's another sign of a lone wolf. And another sign is, And this is one of my favorites, is that lone wolves, they prefer quality over quantity.
Hmm.
And that pertains to, like, who you surround yourself with, the people that you surround yourself with. Lone wolves don't really have a desire to surround themselves with a bunch of people. Now, lone wolves may know a few people, we may associate with ourselves with a few people, but when it boils down to it, I know you both have heard of, we have our inner circle, we have a small circle, that type of thing. So
Okay.
that's what lone wolves prefer. They prefer to have their own small circle when they actually associate themselves with people. And it
Mhm.
also pertains to multitasking. One thing, like for me personally, I'm not good at multitasking, right? I tried it. I felt it. There was a point in time where I felt like, multitasking was the way to go, because I felt like the more we do things, the more we get things accomplished, but not so much. Lone wolves are more about doing one task at a time. And in turn, that makes them more productive. So that's yet another sign of lone wolves. But there are a number of other signs out there. But I just love that concept of being a lone wolf.
Yeah, that's awesome. I did check out that episode too, and shared it with Sambaza. I was like, "Okay, you got to check this one out." And I really, found that interesting, and it makes you think of like the introvert type, of personality, which some folks on this show may have an introvert type of personality. We ain't gonna say any names. So, Sambaza. But yeah, I
And there's,
love
there's
that.
nothing wrong with that. That's
True.
awesome.
True.
Lone wolves are awesome. So you
Yeah,
can call us introverts or whatever. We're amazing people. So that's what it is.
for sure. Sambaza, your thoughts on that? Lone Wolf.
I really enjoyed the episode about the lone wolves, and I'm still going to listen to the original one that was talked about. But the way Reggie broke it down,
Hmm.
you do want to go and listen to it. And I got, like I said, I got invigorated by it, and especially when he talked about the lone wolf, I felt like he was speaking to me and telling me, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. You can be the lone wolf, and this is what you need to do to be the lone wolf. And yeah, it was very, 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 very good. That shout outs to you, Reggie. That was a good one. Yeah.
And for sure, and I
How
want to
about
add
yourself,
this
man?
part too, because I've heard, the concept of a lone wolf before, and it's kind of had some maybe negative connotations, but the way that you presented this is like, oh wow, okay, this is like not that negative lone wolf. You won't necessarily have to go down that dark path of you know that what is associated with a lone wolf or what have you. So I love the way that you presented that. So
Yeah, I appreciate that. And you said it, Jen. There may be like this negative perception of lone wolves. And some people are going to see it that way, because some people may be like, if you hear the term lone wolf, you may think like, hey, this person wants to be a loner, or if they are a loner, they don't really want to be around people. It's not that. It's not that we don't want to be around people. We're selective in, you know, who we're around and the spaces that we dwell in, which is
mhm.
absolutely nothing wrong with that. Really,
Okay.
that's strategic. That's the way that we move as lone wolves. So yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And Sabasa, you want to touch on some comments here?
Yeah, sure. Welcome everybody today, and we're gonna go through some comments here. Ed Campbell says, "Peace and admiration, family. Welcome to the show, Ed." And we have Tiffany B saying, "Agreed. I always say, have a great day on purpose. Mindset is important for your mental well-being." Awesome comment. Ed Campbell also adds and says, "Lone wolves prefer deep connections over many connections."
Hmm.
That's deep.
Okay.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
See, that's awesome.
Yes.
Let's see. So moving on, we wanted to let's see. What are some of the common mindset challenges that people face, particularly related to mental health? I mean, really, you kind of touched on one, but I guess some others that you open to share that people may run into. some challenges with the mindset.
So yeah, there's probably a couple of them that comes to mind as far as
Mhm.
challenges that we go through. I would say one is comparing ourselves to others.
Mm,
Um,
mhm,
I say many of us, we have a tendency to do that. We have a tendency to, see what people are doing, especially on social media. We look at people and see how they operate, see what they're doing, see what they have. And from there, we may say to ourselves, well, this is what I need to be happy or to succeed or to have fulfillment. And it's crazy because we shouldn't be relying on what others have. We should like focus on what makes us happy, what brings us fulfillment. And we really have to identify that, because just because someone has something and it makes them happy, that doesn't necessarily make you happy. But then
mhm,
also with that, you never know what someone else is going through. They may look like they have it all, but when they cut their camera off, or what's not in the pictures, it may not be what you think it is. So I definitely want to encourage people to seek what makes you happy, seek what brings you fulfillment. So yeah, that's one of the challenges, and I would just encourage people to stop comparing yourselves to others, because you don't have to, because you are an amazing dope individual. So just be you. You know what I'm saying? So that's
yeah,
one of the challenges that we go through. Another thing, and this is me personally, I've battled with this for quite some time.
mhm,
Overthinking. Overthinking is another challenge that presents us as far as our mindset. And there's a word out there that I hate to use, and I do use it anyways, but I use it in a different context, and it's procrastination. So
mm,
overthinking and procrastination is definitely a challenge as well, because a lot of times when we're presented with something and we're just thinking, right? We're thinking, should I do this? And this is something that can potentially get us to the next level. This is something that can potentially, help us achieve our goals, but we're just thinking and thinking and thinking. And I think about this old saying that I used to use when I used to play dominoes with some of my brothers, my partners. They used to say, when you took a long time to play a domino, they used to say, study long, study wrong. So, you don't want to overthink things when you're presented with something. So,
okay.
you want to think it through, but at the same time, we have a tendency to overthink. And with that, that opportunity could potentially pass us by when we thought about it, but it could have been something that's just real simple. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
And
mhm,
also with the procrastination, that was a big one for me personally for a while, because like we know what we want to do, right? And we have a tendency to put things off. We can be like, hey, I want to do this, but I'm going to wait on it. I'm going to wait till next week, or that type of thing, or I'm going to wait a couple of months from now, whatever the case may be. But that's basically procrastination. And my thing is, why wait when you can start it now?
mhm.
So those, I feel like, are two challenges that we encounter when it comes to, mindset and mental health.
Nice. And I want to say Kendrick Lamar said that too, but maybe not.
What did he say?
What did you say? Studies long, steady
Oh,
wrong.
study long, study wrong. Oh, okay. I never heard him say that. Okay.
I want to.
Okay.
It's yeah, like when like a intro to one of his songs. It's an older song, but anyway.
Oh,
No, I love that. That's dope. That's dope.
I
Sambaza
wanted to
thoughts.
also probably touch on one more thing. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you did have a nice episode here when you're talking about perception of failure,
Mm-hmm.
and I think part of the mental health issue is that when people get failure, it tends to put them on this pathway to where they look at themselves as not being able to achieve or not being able to qualify for something. Um, can you talk a little bit about the perception of failure?
so yeah, I feel like as far as failure, so I feel like we can do any and everything. Like when something comes to our mind, when something comes to our space, if God places something in our heart, I feel like we can do it because I feel like, God doesn't give us more than we can handle. But sometimes we feel like, certain things that we think about is too much for us. It's like, who am I to say, who am I to do something like that? That seems like this mighty feat that I feel like I can't accomplish. And when you say that to yourself, you've already lost. You've already failed. But instead, if something is presented to you, if something is placed in your spirit, you have to have confidence in yourself. You have to have that mindset, that growth mindset, like, hey, I can do this, regardless of what it looks like, regardless of what it seems like. I can do whatever. I can do this. I can do whatever that I set my mind to. So if you have that, that failure in your heart and your mind, you done lost. So that's the way I feel about that.
Okay. And can you share some more of strategies or exercises that can help improve the mindset and the well-being of a person?
So yeah, so what I would say is I feel like with that, declarations and affirmations are very important. I'm a firm believer that I'm a firm believer in the Holy Bible. There's Proverbs 18:21 where it says, life and death is in the power of the tongue. So I always encourage people to be mindful what they're telling themselves and what they're putting out there as far as what they're saying. Because, for the most part, it's going to come to light. It's going to come to life. So be mindful of that and just affirming your basic affirmations is telling yourself how great you are, telling yourself how well you're going to do in accomplishing your goals. And, I just feel like those two things, speaking life and affirming things to yourself, building yourself up, talking yourself up, is very important. Like you said earlier, Jen, say it with your chest. I love that lingo. You know what I'm saying? Say it with your chest. Say it like you mean it, whatever it is. So I feel like that's very important when it comes to improving your mindset and your mental well-being, just talking yourself up, saying positive things about yourself, and stay away from the negativity.
Okay.
I love that. And
I think we got some comments here.
yeah, go ahead.
Tiffany Bird says, judge ourselves based on a perception instead of a reality. What is the root cause of procrastination? And that's Ed Campbell's question. Do you want to add anything on those two comments?
The root cause of procrastination, it's the mind. It's your mindset. You have excuse me, you have two types of mindset. You have the growth mindset and then you have the fixed mindset. So it's like usually a person with a fixed mindset is pretty much set in their ways. So like if you're just steady, just putting stuff off instead of acting, instead of applying action, it's all in the mindset. And again, it goes to what I was saying about, declaring and affirming and saying to yourself, but it goes beyond that. You could say you want to do something, but you want to apply that action as soon as you can. You don't want to put anything off. So just to add another element to it, if you say you want to do something, you want to tell yourself when you want to do it. So let's say you want to accomplish a goal. You say, you know what, I'm going to do that right now. Instead of saying, you know what, this is what I want to do, but I'm going to wait till next week or next month or, a few days from now. You say, I'm going to do this right now. And I feel that can potentially conquer procrastination.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. And then let's see. Strategies. So Reggie, you do mindset coaching, is that right? Or
yes,
speak on that.
Yeah.
In comparison to like traditional therapy, how would you say the difference or what have you for people who are not aware?
Well, I feel like there is a slight difference, but I feel like at the same time, it goes hand in hand. I feel like individuals can benefit from both, therapy and mindset coaching, getting yourself a coach, getting yourself an accountability partner. And I know with therapy, back in my day, when I was coming up, a lot of people had this negative perception of therapy. Like, and I was there at a point as well. I would tell myself that, therapy isn't necessary. I can talk to my people, I can go to God or whatever. And you can do that. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You can do that. Along with that, I think therapy is very beneficial, and I firmly believe in third party credibility, because I feel like it's great to get, the opinion of others, your family and your friends and that type of thing. The thing about getting that, feedback and opinions from family and friends, they're either going to tell you what you want to hear, or they're going to tell you basically their perspective from how they live life and that type of thing. And they probably going to, tell you based on who you are. And I feel like a therapist is key, because they're professionals. They don't know you except from what you have told them. So I feel like with them using their background and their expertise, I feel like they can guide you in the right direction as well. So it's always good to get, another perspective on what you need to do as you go along in your journey. So I feel like both of them can be very beneficial in regards to, having a therapist, and along with coaching, picking up a coach as well to help you guide you through your journey as well. I feel like they're both beneficial, and you can kind of utilize those two, one at a time. So if you want to get a therapist first and then a coach, or vice versa, however you want to go about it, they both will be beneficial to you.
Okay. I love that you kind of identify, establish that there's a difference. And like you said, it can go hand in hand and complement the other. So, that's good to know when people are seeking, how can, like you said, be the best version of myself. You may identify that, hey, there's some stuff going on with me, or maybe in the past that I kind of need to work out. And a therapist may be suitable for working those particular things out, or I'm have a goal in mind. I know I want to get this particular thing accomplished, but how can I get out of my own way, or what have you? And maybe mindset coach may be appropriate. I mean, and this is just from what you shared. So I love that you establish that. So we have some additional comments. Want to get your take on some of this, Reggie, with the comments. Sambaza, you want to get that last one? We'll pick up.
So Reggie says, no disrespect, but suicide wouldn't be so high if many people did not have too much to deal with. So the saying, God don't give us more than we can handle, is an oxymoron.
It's
What would
from Ed
you
Campbell.
what would you say about that?
Could you put that up again? I
Oh,
just want to try
yeah.
to get an
Right.
understanding of that. So it says, no disrespect, but suicide wouldn't be so high. Many people didn't have too much to deal with. So the saying, God doesn't give us more than we can handle, is an oxymoron. I get that. And suicide is definitely a serious thing. That's pretty much all I can say about that. I feel like at the same time, it's like, again, it starts with the mindset and how you really perceive things. And I feel like, just having control of our thoughts, having control of how we see things, having control of our mentality can definitely be a key to have, being good with our mental health. And, with that being said, unfortunately, there have been some people who have a lack of control of, or lost control of their thoughts. And it has led to things, some unfortunate events, like suicide, for example. But it's just one of those things. So I see both sides of it, most definitely. I really do. But I feel like, again, it just really just starts with taking control of our mentality, taking control of our mindset. I think that's where it starts.
Okay. And Sambaza, you want to pick up on the next one?
Yes, but before we go on, we want to tell
Okay.
anyone who is feeling suicidal that help is available. You can call the 988 suicide. That's the crisis lifeline. So you can reach out for help, or go to the website and get some help regarding suicide.
And that
So
number
Yeah.
again?
988 suicide. It
Okay.
doesn't say, but it says call 988. So
Yeah,
if
I
you
think
call 988, just that
it'll
it'll
take you
get
right
you.
there. Okay.
Right.
Thank you for sharing that. That was so responsible of you. Sambaza. Love that
Yeah.
you were in
Appreciate that.
tune.
Thank you for
Yeah, for
sharing
sure.
that.
Thank you.
Definitely.
So the next one is from Tiffany Bird, where she says, I think the negative perception of therapy is cultural. A third party person who is not vested in your life will provide a neutral perspective.
I love that. And
Yeah, I
then,
100% agree with that.
yeah, for sure.
100.
And then Ed says, well, he says facts to what Tiffany just said. And then he adds on to say, to break away from procrastination, it is wise for us to set deadlines for us to achieve our daily tasks and short and long term goals.
Okay. Mm, mm,
100%.
back to me. Yeah,
100%.
yeah, definitely. Okay. Reggie agrees with
Yes.
the short term. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
seeing those
definitely a
things.
firm believer in that as far as that's definitely a way to get away from procrastination. I've said that numerous times on my podcast, on
Mhm.
the YouTube channel, is that basically just to keep yourself busy. You want to set long-term goals, but also along with that, you want to set short-term goals that leads to the long-term goals as well, to keep you busy, to keep you going along as you're going along on your journey. So I firmly believe in that.
So, Reggie, you put yourself on the spot here with regard to goals. You talked about this on one of your episodes where you did the C4 challenge, where you had 30 days to produce a single episode. We used to have it on the C4 Collective. And
Yes.
you only made, I think, 22 out of the 30. But you explained yourself and said the reason why. Now, this was a goal that you had made
Wait.
for 30, but you had, I think, 22. So, can you explain with regard to? I'm going to go back to Ed and say, now we do set some long term and short term goals, but we don't achieve them. How do we overcome that
Wait a minute,
and
Samantha,
learn
not
from
you,
that?
not you putting Reggie on blast for something that happened. What was that? 3 years? Wow.
I mean,
I can appreciate that though. I can appreciate that. I really appreciate you doing that. Hey, I don't have any excuses. I don't have any excuses. What I will say is the next time that comes up, I will prepare myself better for that. And that's
Mhm.
what I learned from it. I was really appreciative of that opportunity, that challenge. I actually did better than I thought I was going to do,
Okay.
just to, on the cool, on the real. But I know next time what to expect. I just need to be better prepared. That's my takeaway from it. Just be better prepared for the next time. And
I
I'm
almost
and I'm willing to take on that challenge again. So
okay. Yeah, and I almost
yeah.
forgot Reggie was in the challenge with us. Wow, you kind of
I,
did some
I
digging
listened
on
to it.
that one.
No, I listened to it, and for me, he did say and explain, like he said, he had to be better prepared for himself, but he also did not stop himself from taking that step for doing that, because it's 30 days of actually podcasting. And he says, look, for these 30 days, even though I made 22, it showed me that I was still trying to stick in the game to make to that particular goal. And the fact that I had put myself in it is one thing to get to the first step. The first step was to, hey, we're going to do this, right?
Mhm.
And then you get into it. Yeah, you get to 22, but be proud of that 22. That's what I got from that particular the episode.
Okay. You want to address the comments?
Yes. And Reggie asks here, what technique do you advise for one to get to control their mindset?
What technique?
Declarations and affirmations, like I say, I feel like the
Mhm.
more you do that, the more you're consistent at it. If you do it constantly, if you do it daily, it forms your mind. It grooms your mind. I feel like that's just my personal opinion, and I've done that personally. I feel like that's a great way for me personally to take control of my mind, my mentality, my mindset. I think again, just speaking life. just telling, talking to your mind, talking to your thoughts, declarations and affirmations, I feel like is the key to taking control of your mind.
Definitely. And then, people who are looking for, where can I find an affirmation? There's actually some really great videos like on YouTube that just have like a running track of affirmations that you can listen to. I know some folks that I, speak with frequently have shared, you can just do a search for affirmations. I don't know if you can point us in the direction of some other sources for those.
But I mean, like you say, just do a Google search. I mean, there's so much out there as far as affirmations. They have books.
Mhm.
You can go on social media. I know I come across some affirmations on Instagram
Mhm.
and Facebook. So I mean, they're all over the place. You just got to do a Google
Yeah.
search. Yeah.
And
So
there's
you
an
can.
app too that I try to find the app, but the YouTube ones are cool because it has that really relaxing and calming music in the background that you really can
Right.
just like close your eyes and get into it. The app I was referred to is called I Am, and it actually is it gives you prompts for affirmations. It's kind of cool, actually. I think Ed actually might have mentioned that to us. So shout out to Ed. And thank you for everyone who's been in the comments. Shout out to the chat. Thank you guys. We appreciate the engagement.
You know what? If you want to get those affirmations, why don't you just go and listen to the Growth Times Infinity podcast? That has all the
Look,
that has all the
okay.
affirmations you need. I mean, hey, like I said, you don't have to go anywhere. That's where it is. Yes.
He definitely shares that for sure.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
And there are
Appreciate
enough
it.
episodes to go around.
Yes.
Yeah, and I love the sound design. You definitely, put thought into that. We can appreciate the whole meat and potatoes of it. For sure.
You mentioned that. I definitely want to give a shout out to my podcast coach, Ozil Debatos. He actually designed that for me. So I
Nice.
definitely got to give a shout out to him for that. Definitely got to give him a shout out. So
Now we were going to ask you about the advice about someone who wants to start working on their growth mindset, but you already talked about the techniques. Ed Campbell, I think he has. Did you send him the questions, Jen? Did you send Ed the questions? Because he picked that question right off. Like,
you know what?
looking around like,
You
what's
are
going
so
on here?
silly.
But you did answer the
No.
question about affirmations and techniques. The techniques actually to get to improve your mindset. You already talked about it. I want to ask you one more thing about the podcast. Now we're going to talk about the podcast. If I'm to go and listen to your podcast, what do I walk away with it? I think the purpose of the Growth Infinity podcast.
So my intent when for the Growth Times Infinity podcast, along with the YouTube channel, my intent is to give people, the tools that they need to go along on their personal development journey. That's how I started off. I was, just reading books and listening to podcasts, that type of thing. And that's for me personally, that's what I was looking for as I was going along on my journey. And that is my same intent for I like to call my listeners, my fellow advocates, anyone who listens to the podcast, anyone who checks out the YouTube channel, just, being properly prepared as you go along on your journey and just being prepared for anything that comes at you. And just having that understanding that you are a continued work in progress, that you're not going to get it right all the time. There's no destination. We need to have an understanding that, this journey is lifelong. It's a lifelong journey. And we must be focused on continuous learning, continuous growth. So that's my intent when I, share the information that I do on both my platforms.
Okay.
That is
Thank you.
good. That is good. That gave me goosebumps right there. That was good. That was a good
I
one.
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was good.
And Tiffany's just added here and said, a daily affirmation can be as simple as saying, I choose to have a great day.
Mm,
Yep.
And provide yourself the grace that you afford others. That is a challenge.
I love
mhm.
that. Yeah.
That's
And it can
awesome.
be just all it takes is one. It could be more than one, but a lot of times all it takes is one, you know, affirmation. That's all sometimes that's all it takes. I mean, you
Mhm.
can do multiple affirmations just to continually to build yourself up. That's
Mhm.
great as well. But if you just say one thing, it can be so powerful that it can just take you throughout your whole day, your whole journey. So yeah, most definitely.
Now we're gonna go into your podcast. Not you've already told us what you expect from somebody to listen when they come to listen to your podcast. Now, tell us how we can find your podcast, elements of what we can do to support your podcast. Um, Anything that you can share with us regarding this, I'll say it, marvelous podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, most definitely. Thank you for allowing me to share this. So you can check out my podcast on multiple platforms. Pretty much whatever your go-to platform is in regards to listening to your podcast. I'm on iTunes, Spotify, I'm out there. I also have my YouTube channel. There's the Growth Times Infinity podcast, and then I have my YouTube channel, which complements the podcast. It is Reggie the Growth Advocate. That's the name of my YouTube channel, where I continue to discuss all things pertaining to personal development. So you can check both of those out.
And do you have anything like we can support you on?
Yeah, if you want to support me, you can always buy me a coffee. Usually the link to that is in the show notes. You can follow me on Instagram. You can do that. I'm at Reggie Keeps Growing. And along with my podcast and my YouTube channel, I do an Instagram live every last Monday of the month as well, where I discuss personal development. Sometimes I may discuss something different, but it's just like a routine that I do to go along with the podcast and the YouTube channel. So, yes, I do have an Instagram live coming up this Monday. I know it is
Oh,
Memorial Day.
nice.
I
Okay.
know it is, but yet we still gonna do it. So, yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can do that as well.
All right.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that. We're definitely gonna try to jump in there because look, I ain't got nothing going on. So I'll be around. Okay.
I don't have a time for it as of yet, but
Okay.
I'll try to let everyone know beforehand when I get
Okay.
on there. I try to give like an hour's notice at least,
Mhm.
you know. So yeah, but most definitely we gonna do that.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, hey, but if you follow him, you'll get the notification and you can just, oh, there he is.
Yep, that's
So,
right. That's right.
and it's so
Yes.
funny. Some people really do watch for that. Sometimes I be in my hip hop bag and I jump in some lives, and then I see
Mhm.
people following, like, what's Jen doing over here in the Kendrick Lamar room? Whatever I'm doing. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, love that. All right. Okay. So thank you for sharing that. We'll have the links and all of that in the show notes, guys. We'll have the audio episode up shortly. Really appreciate Reggie for sharing with us and having this opportunity to sit down and get into what he is so passionate about. As we acknowledge mental health, mental health is so many things. It's not just sitting down with a therapist or a counselor. It's so many things, and there's so many different things in different ways that you can, get in tune with yourself. Okay, you
I
want
know
to?
I'm laughing because yes, Scorpion said she made it. Scorpod said she
Oh,
made it. Yep.
she
You're
did.
welcome.
Shout out to Scorpion. November in the house. Yeah. And so, yeah, Reggie shared some great information. Reggie was a part of our 30-day challenge. many moons ago.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's a great opportunity. Scorpion, another great content creator. We all talked about, attending Scorpion's clubhouse rooms back in some good old days. And so, talking about different podcast topics and trying to work on our craft and sharing ideas and things like that. So definitely appreciate. Oh, we love you too.
One love. One love.
Yeah, for sure. We appreciate that. Oh, that's awesome for sure. So before so she just came in, but yeah, so we talked about. He kind of gave us a really great definition of mindset, and we talked about his background. He shared some really great stories. Again, the name of the podcast is Growth Times Infinity, and it's available on all those platforms. And he has a YouTube. He does IG lives. We're going to have all those links posted, and be sharing his content and tagging it. So if you follow us, you'll see his. We'll be running those through. Sambaza, anything else to share?
I think I will say that this was one great episode. One of the great episodes that we have, and I do want to give a shout out to all those who attended. And Reggie, I'm a consumer. I've actually become now a consumer of your podcast, and I'll follow the podcast even after this, because sometimes you listen to podcasts and then stop listening to podcasts. But I think with your podcast, I'll definitely be listening to it from time to time to get those affirmations, because as much as it's just a 15-minute episode, there's a lot someone can gather from that will make charge you up to go and do something positive at the end of the day. So yes, that's maybe my affirmation for your podcast.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate the
Okay.
support. I appreciate you tuning in, continuing to tuning in as we go forward. So I really, really appreciate that. I love the support.
Awesome. Okay, guys, and we will also have that buy me a coffee link also included. Hey, buy Reggie a coffee. Hey, maybe he wants to attend Afro's audio. Hey, support a podcaster. Okay. So,
Yeah. Yeah, the Afros and audio. I'm gonna get there one day, God willing. I'm gonna get there one day. I've been telling myself that I definitely want to attend one of those, at least one of them. I know I would love to attend it more than once, but I just need to attend the first one, and I'm gonna get there.
It is a fun event. Yes.
Okay.
I know it is.
Yeah, it'll be
Well,
hopefully
I'm an
my
ambassador,
first.
so I have to tell you it's a fun event, and I do have a discount code if you're interested in. Hit me up, and I will be posting it too.
Okay. I'll definitely reach out to you on that. Now, let me ask y'all this, because I know in the past they've had the virtual option just in case you can't get there. Do they not have that for this year, or do they?
Did
he take that away this year?
They took it. They probably will. They probably will bring it, but I'll have to confirm. I'll revert to and ask.
Because I want to say I attended virtually before. Okay, yeah. So
I think I've done virtually, and then I started going for the last 2 years now.
Okay, so yeah, we'll definitely get an answer on that since we have a whole ambassador in the crew.
But
I'll
for
go
me
send an email.
personally, but for me personally, I would prefer to be there in person. I mean, virtual is okay. I know it's convenient, but for me personally, I like to, be in the mix of those type of things. And I know it's a great community as well. So I would love to be there in person. So, but one day, I just need to, like I said, I just need to get to the first one, and then we just gonna take it from there.
Oh, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, for sure. And one day we may have some other conference and meetups to share. And actually, there, obviously there's other podcast conferences and things like that. But for our sanctuary, yeah. So stay tuned. Maybe one day we'll have another kind of conference to share. So,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to another one close by.
yeah.
All right, I'll be on the lookout for that.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're only 3.5 hours away from me. So if we could
Yeah, that's right.
pull up one and have some podcasters, hey, that'll be good. And Jen
So
can
you're
drive here; it's
so
not too far.
you
I'm in
talking
Dallas.
about me and you? We're 3.5 hours away
Yeah,
from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
right. Yeah,
where are you located?
I'm in Dallas in a small town called Forney,
Okay,
on the
I'm
outskirts.
in Dallas like at least once a year because
Oh,
there's
okay, cool.
always something going on. A fun fact for me, a fun fact about me is that I'm an official. I'm a official, so I officiate high school football and basketball games, and a lot of our meetups are in Dallas. So we have
What?
trainings here in Houston as well, but a lot of times we have things that's happening in Dallas, and there's some other things that's happening in Dallas as well that I like to go to and I like to attend. So yeah, I'm in Dallas at least once a year.
Okay.
So hey,
Mhm.
we'll see and meet up and kind of catch up, talk podcaster to podcaster.
Most
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, most definitely. We can do that. We can do that.
That's what's
Yeah, I
up.
didn't know you was that close. Okay, cool.
Mm.
Now I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jen, with that being said, I think this is the time when we have to say adios. But I have this T-shirt for this DJ here. It's called Sestuki, so it's Kenyan. So at least I have my Kenyan colors. I don't have to wave the flag today.
Okay. Shout out to that.
All right.
Awesome. And I'm actually wearing a St. Louis Cardinals because they won today. So
That
shout out
was
to the
just a game.
Cardinals.
Just a game.
True, but we still won. So
All
yay,
right.
Cardinals.
That's nice.
How are they doing this season?
Yeah, they're doing pretty good.
Good, good. Okay. Yeah, I need to catch up on some baseball. I've been off of it a little bit. I know the
Mhm.
Astros are not doing good, so I don't want to talk about that. So. We're gonna leave that one alone.
Yeah.
Funny. Okay, so now we say goodbye to all our podcast friends. Okay. Thank you guys. If this hopefully today's episode and conversations have inspired and enlightened you. If you found the episode meaningful, please share it with your friends, family, colleagues. Our collective awareness and advocacy plays a crucial role in creating positive change. Please stay tuned for more engaging content, and we look forward to continuing these important conversations in the future. So, again, we appreciate you guys so much for tuning in and staying with the content as we come together to create some really great content for you guys. So, on that note, we will conclude. Reggie, stay around for our proper goodbye. And you guys take care. At this time, we're going to go ahead and conclude the episode. We greatly appreciate you listening. We invite you to follow us on social media. On Instagram, it is Woke by Accident Podcast. On Twitter, it is Woke by. On Facebook, it is Woke by Accident Podcast. We also have the new website up, www.wokebyaccident.net. Please check us out. And also follow us on all of your favorite streaming platforms. And please leave a review and share feedback. You can also reach out by Gmail, wokebyaccident@gmail.com. And every time you listen, we appreciate it so much. Thank you for listening and take care.